Leader writer for The Observer, Sonia Sodha. And we're going to turn our attention to another story that crops up on a couple of the front pages. This is the Mirror's take on it. Heartbreak on the high street, and an awful lot of people worried about their jobs tonight.
Yeah, it's been a really, really bad day for the high street. So we've seen several big chains announce that they're going under. Toys R Us, Markel, the sort of digital store, and Prezzo, the Italian restaurant chain, has now said that it's going to be closing quite a few branches. So as you say, there's going to be lots of people really worried about their jobs. I think this is the sort of sharp end of it. For example, lots of people are looking at a store like Toys R Us and saying they really haven't done enough over the last kind of 10, 20 years to adapt to, you know, modern changes on the high street. A lot of their stores are out of town. People don't shop like that anymore. A lot of the things you might buy in a Toys R Us, you could easily pop down to your local Argos and get, or like order online. So some of these stores haven't adapted well, and other high street stores have adapted better. But this is also part of a bigger picture trend, which is just people in the last 2 or 3 years. I mean, I know me myself, who are just shopping far more online, and it's so much easier to get a good deal online now. Retailers offer free delivery, free returns. You just drop off at your local, you know, parcel delivery point. So it's just becoming so much easier to shop online.
And there are certain high street retailers who've managed to make that adjustment and do both. But it's interesting, isn't it, with Toys R Us, for example, because we did talk about them as being something of a predator a while ago, that they would set up out of town and it was the shops on the high street that suffered.
I'm just not surprised to see their demise, really. Funnily enough, I wandered into a Toys R Us in Manhattan, of all places, before Christmas. And, you know, Toys R Us before Christmas in December in New York really should be a place that you want to be if you've got children. And I wandered in, and it was so unappealing. I literally walked out the other side. You know, it was just through the store and out, and I just didn't even bother with it. It just hadn't adapted at all. It felt kind of very stuck in a time warp, not a pleasurable shopping experience.
Whereas I remember when we were kids, near where I lived, a big Toys R Us opened, and it was considered
absolutely
a
amazing,
massive treat, because they had this like big slide that went down a level that you could go down. So it was considered an absolutely massive treat to go there, and I just don't think it's seen in the same way anymore.
No, and as we say, a real concern amongst the people that are employed by these various companies that are under so much pressure. Let's finally turn to a photograph, and well, with an article attached, obviously, but it's the photograph that captures your attention immediately, and it's they call them the Fab Four, and these are the two royal couples working together, essentially.
It's a lovely picture, and I think there'll be endless analysis. I'm rather dreading the analysis of, you know, which woman's got the nicer dress and who's got longer legs and all of that, which will be inevitable in magazines and papers in the next couple of days. But it is a lovely picture, a very big moment in a way for the two royal couples, beginning to do some engagements together on causes and charities that are close to their hearts. And I mean, it's just a cheery picture, really, isn't it? But we thought it was a bit cheesy, with William looking a little bit left out at the end there. Slightly left out. Look at him trying to get in there on the joke, whatever it is.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously a formidable foursome, and Meghan Markle obviously diving straight in and saying that she's keen to get stuck into the charity work as soon as possible.
Absolutely, and you know, she said this before, that she's really sort of excited to get into her role. We know she's not going to be treating it as a sort of purely ceremonial thing. And I think what's interesting, actually, is she spoke out quite strongly in favour of sort of women's empowerment campaigns like Me Too and Time's Up. She sort of, you know, made a very clear kind of statement on her support for those, and said she thinks it's a really important time for women to be speaking out, and that's interesting, I think.
Okay, and on that note, we will say thank you very much, but see you again at 11:30. Sonia and Isabel, thank you.